All right, Cameron, you ready to watch the movie? God damn it. Attention, we are about to spoil episodes 6 through 10 of Gravity Falls. If you have not seen the show, go watch it, and then come back and watch us. Or if you just don't care, stay around. We'll have a grand old time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gravity Falls, Part 2, because we kind of had a crappy week and decided we wanted laughter and fun.
And yes, we know the next movie is technically a comedy, but we don't know if it'll be good or not. So we kind of went with the more safe choice.
Yeah, so, of course...
We'll do Seeking a Friend for the End of the World next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week, don't worry. We're still doing it, guys. We're still there, still on the to-do wheel, so...
Yeah, all three viewers, we know you care.
We know you care. You too, Goober. We love you. We love you. So, how do we start this?
I'm just waiting for my internet to get better. Yeah, I might be cutting out a lot this time. Sorry about that.
His internet's assigned to be a bit of a douche, so...
So you can start off.
So we started with episode 6 of Gravity Falls. Let me see if I can. I'm actually kind of drawing a blank. So what happened? Was that the one with the manliness?
Yes, that was manly. This one may be sort of like the middle of Angel Beats. I'll give a warning now because there's not much plot stuff in these episodes.
Yeah, there's just like slightly more character development, but there isn't much plot stuff. So it isn't much. Nice, Cameron. Nice.
English. Because a lot of kid shows actually did this at the time before we even get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Adventure Time and Steven Universe also did this.
I'm such a wimp and you have to be a man.
No, not the episode we're about to talk about. I mean, starting off with like hints at story, but mainly just having kind of one-off episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we do technically get explanation for something we saw in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, adding a new character to the roster and advancing Dipper a bit... No, introducing 2 characters, technically. Or 4. I'm trying to... Fuck.
couple
one of
new ones.
One of these. There's 4.
Is there 4? Because there's... Yeah.
Because Mabel's 2 friends become...
yeah. There's a lot more characters. There's 2 friends and there's the rival friends, which we'll get to in a different episode.
No, only the rival chick stays around. Her 2 friends don't really appear.
Okay, good. I still hate her, but again, talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later, and then we have the pet of the show come in.
Yeah. It's the best.
That's about ones that will be plot relevant and reoccurring.
But yeah, not much happens here, so we're just going to talk about the episodes, what we liked, what we didn't like, and
Yeah, not much mystery was brought up this time around.
There was more in the first little batch that we watched, so...
Yeah. The mystery stuff will start up next batch.
Mm-hmm.
Please stick around.
Please, we love you. Just like we love us. I mean...
But yeah, I was trying to say that a lot of... Before we get into it, Adventure Time and Steven Universe also did this where there's a lot of one-offs to get you more used to the characters and more into the world before they start throwing the heavier stuff.
Start like getting really in depth with the heavy shit. So
yeah, or with more plot elements.
Yep. So this episode starts out with the group in a diner, which is totally not a reference to Twin Peaks at all. And it turns out that Grunkle Stan, I think, do we find that out first that he is? No, okay. And so that's a bit later. Well,
not a bit later. It happens like literally right after we find out plot A of the episode.
But yeah, Dipper sees a machine in the corner that's like, oh, you can test your manliness here, so how manly are you? And
get free pancakes, because who doesn't want free pancakes?
Exactly, it's fucking pancakes, especially if they're anything like IHOP. You're damn right I'm going to go test the manliness machine. So he goes like, oh yeah, I'm going to go test my manliness. And of course, Grunkle Stan and
I'm not helping you here. You should
Mabel,
remember.
Mabel start laughing at him. Like, fucking, like, oh, yeah, man, that's a good one, whatever. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll prove to you that I'm a man. And so he goes over to the machine, and I guess there's like a little meter you have to squeeze and push where you have to, like, oh, how manly are you? And he pushes it and goes up to bump, man, and then goes back down to wimp. And it prints out a picture of a baby, and he's like, oh, you're so cute. And so everyone starts...
think he was saying he was as strong as a baby fart. So.
Yeah, something like that. And it was like, haha, you're no man. He's like, shut up. And so freaking, I think he leaves the diner then after that, right?
Yeah, then he leaves the diner, and then we find out the B plot.
Then we find out the B plot, which is Grunkle Stan has a crush on the waitress who runs the diner. Or is it a waitress, or is it like...
Yeah, she's a waitress.
Yeah, she's a waitress.
And the owner, I think. Yeah. So.
She's the waitress / owner because, you know, small town.
Yeah, like Chloe's mom in Life is Strange.
Yeah. And so freaking she has an eye, which she has a lazy eye, which is always closed. And like... And Mabel's looking at her, and Grunkle Stanley's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, honey bun," or whatever the heck it is. And she's like, "Wait a minute, you have a thing for her?" He's like, "No, I don't." And she's like, "You know what? We'll make you more attractive." And so it cuts back to Dipper, who's going through the woods, you know, all sad and pouty. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a man. I can totally be a man." And I think he's like, is that where he's working out with like the branch and everything?
Yeah.
He's trying to tone his body to be more buff. And all of a sudden, big giant thing starts rumbling. And earlier, I forgot to mention this earlier, it's Wendy's dad, right?
Wendy's dad.
Yeah, his dad, like, he does the man machine. Like, so he, like, puts a pinky on it and goes up. He's like, "You're a man." So he's running. He's like, run, we got to get out of here. And so he's running, the deer's running. And it turns out that there's this giant freaking minotaur. And he's like, I want that. He's like, he thinks he's gonna kill him. So he's like, "What is?" He's like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I want jerky or something." He's like, "Oh, you want this? Yeah, here." And he's like, and then Dipper's just like, "Hey, you're pretty manly. You know, you seem like a man. How about you teach me how to be more manly?" And they form, and they're like, he's like, "Okay, I'll introduce you." So.
And then we have a nice long talk of toxic masculinity.
Yup. And so
because I think a great idea would be to talk about male identification on the internet.
Yeah, that'll go well. So climbs on the back of the back hairs, goes and he's running, and he jumps into a freaking cave where he meets the rest of them. Haha, man cave, get it? So it turns out
they're also not minotaurs. They're manitors.
Manitors. They're better than the average minotaur. They're manitors. So. Freaking yeah, so they go and they freaking they're like, "Oh yeah, well, this is the man cave, this is where we hang out." And I think at that point it cuts back to them trying to get Grunkle Stan more likable, right? And that cuts back to Dipper, and they have the two plots.
Talk about the plot. Yeah, we don't have to go to the deep episode.
I'll just sum it up here. I'll be like, yeah, you know, they have two separate plots going on. Basically, he's trying to be more of a man, and Grunkle Stan's trying to be more he's trying to appeal more to the waitress. So, of course, that doesn't work out with Grunkle Stan. He starts becoming and back where Dipper is, he starts becoming a man, and he's like, "Wait a minute, oh, there's one final test. You have to kill a multi-bear." And so he goes, tries to kill the multi-bear, and he's about to kill him when, wait a minute, he likes the same music as he does. Because earlier in the episode, he was listening to, I think they said Baba, which is making fun of ABBA. And well, instead of Dancing Queen, what was it? Like Disco Woman or something like that? Disco Girl? Disco Girl instead of Dancing Queen. And he's like, "Oh, you look like the same thing." He's like, "You know what? I'm not going to kill you." So he goes back and said, "You know, I'm not going to kill you." They're like, "Oh, well, then you're not man." And they all run off. He's like, "Hey, let's do something manly." So they meet back at the diner. And of course, he's like, "Oh, man, you know, I'm no man," or whatever. And he's like, "Hey," and Grunkle Stan points out that, "Hey, you said no despite what everyone else thinking. That seems pretty and stood your ground. That seems pretty manly to me." And then throughout the episode, there's a joke where he doesn't have any chest hair. And so he says, "Hey, look, oh my gosh, I finally have a chest hair," to which Mabel comes over, picks it out, and puts it in her book.
His scrapbook.
His scrapbook. And then, yeah, so that was that episode.
Yeah, even though this episode is a cliched plot that happens in like every kid show, like trying to make someone who's hideous beautiful, and then finding out you just have to be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Every kid show in the world has done that.
Yeah, and also being a man is not all just strength and violence.
Mm-hmm.
You can have emotions. It's fine.
It's fine. I don't know why the fuck that's a thing. Actually, it's so stupid.
Because the men were always supposed to be like the strong, dominant
Yeah,
figure. I think the best version would be just playing at Fight Club when they get on the bus.
Uh-huh.
Is that what a real man looks like? And then Tyler just shakes his head.
But yeah, again, not much happened here, but still a good, fun episode the way they did it. So
yeah, which again, even though it's cliche, I still enjoy it. There's a lot of good humor, especially from the Manitors.
The Manitors, yeah.
The comedy saves it a lot from, even though it's still the same steps a lot of shows follow, the comedy saves it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
there's a lot more than I could say for the first season of Avatar.
Whoo! Shots fired.
That's a story for another time, though.
That's a story for another day. But yeah, good episode despite being very cliched, still very good. And also, fun fact, the multi-bearer is voiced by Alfred Molina, who is better known as Doc Ock and Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, the multiplayer's design was actually pretty fucking adorable.
It was pretty adorable and awesome. He's like, I want a multi-bear. And I'm like, I know, right?
It like has 5 heads and then has another bear growing on its back.
It's like, daw.
I wanted to see... Oh no!
What?
Well, when he's about to finish off the bear, it's lying on its back. It's hurting the other one.
Oh no! That poor little bear underneath.
It just wanted to listen to Disco Girl.
I know. By Baba.
You just wanted to dance and love you.
Props to anyone who can get that reference. We'd love you.
So there's on just odd note throughout all these episodes. Well, I guess it's not odd for anyone who's seen the show, but there's a lot of ciphers throughout the episodes.
A lot of Bill ciphers in there, so lot of foreshadowing. Lot of foreshadowing. But yeah, I'll let you take the next one.
Honestly, I would like to go back through this show with a checklist and see how many I could spot.
Oh, there's Bill Cipher. Oh, there's when that happened. There's that guy.
Triangle symbolism.
Oh,
it's like that group people said exists. You know, Chuck E. Cheese fan.
Oh my God! Shit.
No, real Toys R Us kids.
Oh fuck. We don't. Are we allowed to mention that in there? I think we're gonna get chased by the FBI, man.
Next episode. This is Double Dipper, right?
Yes.
Cameron?
Yes.
You just didn't say anything.
No, I said yes. I think you broke up.
You're breaking up with me?
No. That's not what I said.
Alright, Double Dipper. Grunkle Stan is setting up the Mystery Shack to have a parody. Mainly to get people in for free. Or it was like they had to pay $1 at the door to get in, but then pay $15 to get out.
Yeah. It's funny because some of the dudes saying it's like, oh God, we only have $13. We're trapped, man.
Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, and Zeus are helping set up. All of a sudden, Grunkle Stan is like, go make copies of the flyers.
It's exactly how he sounds like, by the way.
100%. So Dipper and Mabel go upstairs to an old copying machine, but it turns out the copying machine can copy people!
Dun, dun, dun.
And this episode has one of our favorite jokes, which is Dipper trying to get with Wendy and failing.
So funny.
Because it's so much fun to see that old cliche.
So much fun.
Dipper starts sucking at hitting on Wendy, and she goes back into the party when they're both supposed to be sitting out, handing out tickets. So Dipper gets a great idea of cloning himself, because this can never go wrong.
Nope, never go wrong.
I will admit they actually do point fun at this cliche, where after the first clone, he goes, wait, you're not going to stab me in the back, are you? I'm you. Fair point.
Fair point.
And of course, as the night goes on, more and more things start to go wrong, like Robbie showing up, or just him getting too paranoid and trying to make a list of what to do in order to get Wendy.
Yeah, it's great.
To the point of cloning himself 10 times, one of them being a crumpled ink jam mess. That's actually kind of horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the kiddies.
For the kids, horrible monstrosities. Yeah.
Oh, also to note, all the clones can die by water.
Yeah.
If water is poured on them, they horribly melt right in front of you.
But it's okay. It's not red blood, so it's fine. It's like pink.
Yeah, it was pink for the first arm they cloned, and then it was black.
So that makes it okay.
So it's fine, to see the fucking. Oh well, okay, hold on. Before I get to that, the 10 clones finally up the ink jam one. So 9 clones and Dipper figure out a plan, but then something goes wrong as Wendy's waiting to use the bathroom, and Dipper just talks to her and it starts going well. But all the clones are like, "You need to follow the plan." So then they betray him. They try to betray him, but he melts most of them. Oh shit! I forgot to mention Pacifica. I'll get back to that. But first, he melts. He causes a fire to happen because of not fire. He makes smoke, which hits the fire sensors.
Yeah.
What are they called? Sprinklers.
Smoke alarm.
Fire sprinklers go off over the clones because he popped a party popper and kills most of the clones except for number 2, named Tyrone.
Yep.
But then they realize it's too late because Robbie has already gotten back after they got rid of him before, which you didn't mention. And then they're like, "Well, we fucked up." They go on the roof and have a drink, and Tyrone horribly melts away from the middle. It says, "Go get Wendy and don't fuck it up."
Pretty much.
Also, we see the Crinkle Dipper die, and he says, "This is better than what I had," or something like that.
Something
it's really
fucked up like that. I was like, "Gee, no." He was like, "It's better this way for for Crinkle Dipper or something
for
like that."
Paper Jam Dipper.
Yeah, I was like, "Jesus Christ, show."
For the kiddies.
The kiddies.
Da, 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 da. The Disney fucking
right. Do 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 do. Just put that over every fucked up moment in the show.
Also, the B plot of the episode is Abel is messing around on the dance floor trying to make friends. It makes 2 nerdy friends whose names I actually forget.
Yeah.
And I'm very tempted just to call them the deep voice one and the Asian one.
Pretty much, because that's what they are. So, and like
they grow a bit more.
That's good. Do they grow a bit more? That's awesome.
A bit, like side character levels.
Yeah. Still, so.
And then Pacifica Northwest comes in, who is the popular girl of town because her family apparently founded the town and owns everything.
Mm-hmm. We find that out next episode, though. So.
Well, no, she kind of. Well, we know she's the popular one at least.
Yeah, she's the popular one, and she's a bitch.
And also, this saves time for the next episode. So, yeah.
She's a fucking bitch. I hate her.
Yeah, she's the normal.
The
normal cunty character.
Normal cunt.
And Zeus is the DJ of the dance party, and he's like, "Whoever wins gets this crown." Through rounds of applause. And then she's like, "Well, just give it to me, because I'll obviously win."
Yeah.
And then Mabel's like, "I could win too." So that kind of just happens as the B plot, but Mabel loses anyway, but still has friends, so,
still has
friendship
friends.
is bigger.
Yay.
And also, Pacifica cheats by having the old man Jenkins clap for her, which lets her win the competition.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's great. She won.
That's kind of it with the B plot. There wasn't too much there. We got about 3 new characters, but not much was said.
Yeah. And you told me, too, this was going to be like another one of those awkward episodes where like, oh, he acts awkward around Wendy. But the way they did it kind of offset that, so...
Like, there was only really one scene where he was super awkward and it was boring.
Yeah.
I just honestly don't like cringe humor like that. It's just dumb.
Well,
it's overdone.
It's overdone. Well, so the thing is, like, sometimes it doesn't bug me, but like when it's stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, it's the girl I like, so I'm going to be really awkward. Yeah, fuck off. You've seen that a million times.
It's like, okay, I understand doing that the first time, but you work in the same place as her. It gets easier to talk to people,
right? But yeah.
Again, comedy in this one is... this one wasn't like laugh out funny, but it stayed, well, funny enough to go past the sort of cliched clone episode.
Yep.
And then we have the joke you took way too long to figure out.
Okay, first off, I knew it was going to be like that, but I said it during one point because this one's called Irrational Treasure. So you can probably guess by the title that it's going to be a ripoff of National Treasure. So parody. Sorry, no, it's homage. But yeah, this one starts out and
$5 French words at me.
So this one starts out where freaking Grunkle Stan and the kids are just driving. And it's like all of a sudden he sees a covered wagon, and Grunkle Stan's like, "Oh no!" And then he starts trying to drive away, and freaking at first I was like, "What, does Grunkle Stan hate Amish people or something?" But no, it turns out that it is in fact the day that Gravity Falls celebrates it being founded or something like that. And everyone go dress
Pilgrim Day.
Yeah, Pilgrim Day. God. But yeah, freaking Pilgrim Day. So like everyone's just like, oh yeah, like it's the day that Gravity Falls is founded, and fucking, you know, we're gonna dress up and be like in old timey times. And it's a lot of fun. It's like I love shit like that. But Grunkle Stan's like, nah, I hate it. So everyone
acts weird.
Yeah. So it turns out that on the stage when it's introduced, Pacifica Rim. Or I'm gonna call her that from now on. I don't care.
Pacifica Rim.
I will call her that from now on. I don't fucking care. She doesn't deserve to be Pacifica.
Oh no, that sounds too cool. Now she has like a giant robot.
Ah shit, you're right. Pacifica South, fuck herself. Fucking she can go suck a massive dick. I'm just saying, but she probably already has actually. Shit. But what happens is turns out that she's related to the founder of Gravity Falls somehow. So, and it's like, yeah, she thinks she can be a total bitch and push everyone around just because her father was the founder of that. And so they're like, you know what? Let's prove.
Who would be rich and successful and an asshole to everyone, not apologize for it?
Right? God, like that would ever fucking... But yeah, so they're like, you know what? We're going to prove that in fact she's not the founder. So they go on this little adventure and find...
No, they have a passage in the book that says whoever was writing the book was finding something out about the true founder of Gravity Falls.
That's right. So he sees it in the book, and they're like, okay, well, let's go uncover the secrets of the town. And all throughout the day, you know, they're finding clues just like in National Treasure. You know, oh, we're going to get this, we're going to steal this, go to this point. And freaking the cops, of course, are pursuing them the whole way. And they're being guided by a mysterious voice. Do we ever find out who the mysterious voice is? I don't think we do.
I think we find out at the end of the season. It does come back.
Okay, I was going to say, so, yeah, because they're being led by the mysterious voice saying, like, oh, they must not find the secret or whatever. So they're going through all this stuff. And eventually they find a cave with a document that just straight up says the conspiracy of Gravity Falls, top secret. Yeah, that's not inconspicuous or anything, but... So they find it, and they're like, oh, shit, this proves it. And then the cops find them. They're like, yeah, that's right. Because throughout the whole episode, Mabel was chewing, what was it, butterscotch or something like that?
Yeah, she had classy butterscotch.
Yeah, so she had butterscotch. So they just followed the butterscotch wrappers, and that led them to him. So, like, and they're like, yeah, and now we have to transport you along with the actual founder. Because they go back and they tell the story of, like, how, you know, there was this stupid president, and they covered it up with the actual president, I guess.
The 8.5 president of America.
8.5 president of America, which is not William Henry Harrison. It's some, I forget his name, actually, but he is the best, by the way. So... They're transporting them by train to, I guess, God knows where. Oh, yeah, they have to ship them off because it says they're never coming back because you know the secret or whatever. What?
They're going back to Washington to be put in high security prison or whatever.
Whatever. So,
be erased. Evil government stuff. Huge.
So Mabel's hungry, and she grabs a piece of the peanut brittle that the founder founded himself in, and it breaks him out. He's like, "Yaha, I'm still alive," or something.
Oh yeah, the 8.5 president froze himself in peanut butterscotch because he thought that would make him live forever.
It was actually, I think it was peanut brittle, something like that. Peanut.
It's the same thing.
Same thing, but either way, it's delicious.
True, unless you're allergic to nuts.
Yeah,
you know,
then you know
kind of fun.
Good, but Anyway, so they're in this box, and he has to break out of the box. He's like, "Nah, I have the president's key," and he starts jamming it against the thing. And he's like, "Oh darn wood, my one weakness." And so they end up like going through the hole. Like there's this hole in it, and it's said throughout the show that like way back when like people were actually allowed to marry woodpeckers. And so this woodpecker comes along, and then leads to a great joke where he's like, "Wait a minute, is that my third wife?" And so he pecks them open, and they get out of the box, and they break free, and they're like, "Yay, let's go," or whatever. And then I think what happens, like, the police find them, they have a chase through the train.
And then they go on top of the train, but they're still, on top of the train.
They're still, on the train.
I mean, you're on the train, but you're still on the train!
But yeah, so, and then it turns out that he had never actually signed a resignation form, so he was still technically president, which, even though it lasts for 4 years only, but shut up. Okay. So he tells them...
Shut up, we need a happy ending.
Yeah. So what does he tell them to do? Like, what happens?
Just go on vacation.
Oh, yeah, he tells them to go on vacation. By the way, these guys are totally gay for each other. Totally.
Yeah, the cops are,
oh my God.
100%.
They are so gay for each other. Like, it's not even funny.
Which is fine.
Which is great, but yeah. So it's like freaking they go out and like they go on vacation. Everything's great. And Mabel's made a congressman, and Dipper is given the president's key, which opens literally every lock, supposedly. So
somehow even locks that were made in the future.
You know, because that's how it works. So
don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Earlier in the episode, Grunkle Scan was put on the was it the barracks or the docks, or what do they call it again?
He was put in one of the old things where you have your head sticking out of the wood plank with your hands and get tomatoes thrown at you.
Yeah,
or rocks. It was rocks.
Yeah, it was totally rocks, but. Yeah, so they unlock it, and they set Grunkle Stan free, and everything's hunky-dory. And then, freaking, it's funny, because they actually kept the paper saying she wasn't the president, like, she actually wasn't the founder. And it was like, you know what? I don't think it is, because I've learned just something just to be chill. And then Dipper's like, you know what? I have it! Runs up to the car as it's driving away. Hey, by the way, you're not the founder, throws in. She's like, what? Mom! And then it's like, I don't get what people are saying.
It turns out the real Northwest was a shit scooper.
It was. So it's great because he's just like, I don't know what people are talking about. Revenge is very satisfying.
Revenge is underrated.
And so it turns out that's good, and that's how I guess the episode ends. So again, very fun episode. The old president is my favorite. He's hilarious. I love him.
Yeah, his backstory too is great. How he made congressmen literally all babies.
He made them all babies. Oh my God, and he won in a literal landslide victory. Oh my God, I just loved like how fucking stupid he was. It was great. I enjoyed the shit out of that. But yeah, again, good episode. Not much happens, but we do find out there was a slight conspiracy related to the actual founder.
Also, all over the town are ciphers.
Yeah, like underneath the founder statue, there's a triangle, so foreshadowing.
Also, throughout the episode, Mabel is all pouty because Pacifica was like, "You're such a silly person." It's like, that's a bad thing because...
Question mark, why?
Oh no, the person who you think is a dick called you a bad name. It's like...
Wow, darn.
And also, it was the normal thing of like, even if people don't like who you are, it's fine.
It's fine, just be yourself.
Because anytime she is silly, she solves a part of the puzzle by accident.
Yeah, because she's so silly. Like, she looks upside down at something because she's being silly. It's like, wait a minute, it was put upside down. That's the clue.
Or she picks her nose with a statue, which... the finger is actually a switch to the secret room.
To the top secret room, yeah. She jokingly says, oh, look, she's picking my nose. So, yeah, that was that. Again, fun episode. Love the humor in this. So you get the next one, which is the best, Time Traveler's Pig.
Time Traveler's Pig because we get waddles, and that's all you need to know.
No, it's not. There's more. You explain it.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's... Waddles, and now he's in the show. That's all we need.
Uh-huh.
Also, Justin Roiland's here.
Yeah, also Justin Roiland's here.
Okay, so somehow Grunkle Stan gets some money and hold a carnival. That's honestly never explained.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they never point that out, do they?
They really don't, I think. Like he's a cheapskate who likes to rip people off, but it's like, how did you afford a whole carnival?
I mean, he's probably rich in some way.
Rich.
He has a secret door and a vending machine.
That is very true, actually.
Maybe he's Batman.
Oh, shit.
He's not Batman.
Damn it.
Disney doesn't own DC yet.
Being the key word.
But anyway, they're holding a carnival. Everything's going great, and there's a little stand that Mabel finds where if you guess the pig's weight, you get the pig.
Oh no! Don't worry, she has to guess the weight of whole 15-pounder.
Turns out it's 15 pounds. She gets pig, and his name is Waddles, and he's great and sticks around forever.
Yeah, Waddles.
He's just an adorable pig. He's the mascot of the show now.
He's great.
He's great and adorable. That's about it with Waddles.
With Waddles. The best.
And he's a pig. Pig.
Because he was.
Pig Ben from the Pig Bean.
Literally, he's pig pen because he's a pig in a pen.
Welcome to our humor, folks.
It's fucking stupid.
Waddles is sort of, I guess, A.5 plot. Because it kind of ties in.
Yeah, I guess.
A plot is Dipper's with Wendy and is talking more chill, thank fucking God.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And he sees the old-fashioned game of knock over the 3 bottles with a baseball. Throws the baseball, and then the baseball hits Wendy right in the face.
Good job.
And gives her a black eye. He tries to go get ice, but Robbie's there, and then it's like, hey, you want to go out? Sure. And then they go in the Tunnel of Love. And Dipper's like, fuck. Because he didn't make it there with the ice. Because some guy got in his way. Then it cuts to the end of the carnival, and he's all sad. But Mabel has a pig, so he should be happy. He should have respected everything in life. But then he runs into Justin Roiland, which of course ruins everything. Justin Roiland turns out to be a time traveler who came here because there were time anomalies in this area, even though it's happened yet. But later in the episode, time anomalies occur because they go back in time, which means they have not gone back in time yet, which means time anomalies couldn't have occurred. But if they're able to detect the time anomalies, that means there is just one dedicated timeline. But they clearly changed stuff, which means there would have to be multiple timelines, but they can detect both of them. And this episode goes in a really, really deep rabbit hole that we're about to get.
This is okay. Stop. Don't think about it. Don't. So Justin's lying here in a coma. Sorry, he got put there. As you can tell, this is an episode that you do not want to think too hard about because there's so many ways it could go. And it gets solved in a very simple way that doesn't really need much explanation. So,
yeah. Anyway, Dipper steals his time travel Verdice.
Oh my God!
Travel device.
Don't think too hard, Justin. It's okay.
Damn it! That.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's fine.
Go on.
But then he keeps trying to fix the day, but keeps hitting Wendy in the eye and somehow keeps showing up even faster than he did before.
Yeah, I guess.
But then Dipper finally figures out how to win. But sadly, Pacifica North Cunt herself wins the pig before Mabel can get back to win Waddles.
Oh, shit!
But then Dipper's like, I don't want to time travel because I got that sweet 15-year-old puss. Also, Wendy is 15.
Even though she's drawn...
If I said something wrong in the first part, there, I fixed it.
Even though she is drawn much older than 15, she does not look...
She looks 18.
She looks 18.
At least that's what DeviantArt will say. Anyway. Ignore that joke. But then they start... Mabel and Dipper start fighting over a time machine because Mabel wants the clearly better prize of not 15-year-old Puss, but Waddles.
But Waddles, because Waddles is the greatest.
They start fighting, they go back, they keep jumping through time and leaving stuff around. But then they finally get back, and Dipper's like, I won't be a douchebag. And then hits Wendy in the face so Mabel can have Waddles. Because, literally because if she loses Waddles, she will stand by a tiki pole and slam her head against it for like months on end without moving.
Yeah.
And then Dipper's like, fuck. In the face. And time travel guy of Justin Roiland comes back and he's like, you were doing all the fucking bullshit. And then time police come in and they're like, you were doing all the bullshit, Justin Roiland. It's like, no, I was trying to make Rick and Morty amazing. And he's like, shut up. And then they arrest Justin Roiland. Cameron?
Yes.
Okay, making sure you're still there.
I'm still here.
Then they arrest Justin Roiland and everything was okay because now we have Waddle. Also, Grunkle Stan gets dunked in the tank that he set up so he wouldn't get dunked in the tank, but was oddly specific on what could dunk him in the tank, and that oddly specific thing hits the thing and dunks him in the tank. Also, Waddles attacks Robbie and makes his pants shrink so hard that his dick is probably crushed in multiple ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know, for the kiddies.
You know, for the kiddies.
A show teaching about how revenge is good. What?
What? Also, what?
Also, you see in this that the person in episode 3 was Justin Roiland picking up stuff that the people left behind, Dipper and Mabel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was the thing. Like in episode, was it 3? I think, like
3.
Where they were, because
3 was the one where you caught the guy running in the background. And it turned out to be
because they're going when Dipper and Mabel are going through time. Then they're like going through all these things. That he leaves his shoe in the background of one of the episodes because they're going through the previous episodes. And so you see what he's doing. He'd bend over to pick up a shoe and then walked out of the frame, which is super fucking clever. Justin?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, it's all
I
good.
had to swallow. Don't take that out of context. I feel sorry because all we can really say is like, it was a solid episode.
It was good. This one was super clever because like it showed the foreshadowing that did in the previous episode. So,
and even if I do know something, I can't say it.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
It sucks. So, well, that's more of a future thing. And now we have the last episode of Fight Fighters, which is a parody of the game Halo.
Yeah, so that one game Halo Reach.
Yeah, you can get Fight Fighters real quick.
No, but Fight Fighters is actually a spoof of fighting games. And this episode is I think you said a lot of people's favorite. So, and
it's in a lot of people's like top 10.
Yeah, because it makes fun of all like the old school video game cliches, like fighting games and all that, like ultimate moves and like
old arcade beat-em-ups.
Old arcade beat. I was like, oh no, you killed my father. Now I have to kill you, or something like that. So, what happens is it starts out. He's playing some games with Mabel, and sorry, not Mabel. He's playing games with Wendy, and they're playing games, having a good time. And then what's his name? Robbie.
Yeah.
Emo fuck Robbie walks in and he's like, hey dudes, I'm gonna cut myself and then I'm gonna throw this fucking concert here. You wanna come? And she's like, oh yeah. So he tells him to sit out around with Wendy and because they want to play just one round, and he's like, I hate him so much, he's such a douchebag. And because I forget what happens there like from then on, because then they go back to the place and then like Robbie's playing outside the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He does the classic thing of singing a song about the girl he loves while blaring guitar outside of wherever she is.
Yeah, And so, but she's not there because he had said earlier that she was going on a camping trip. And he goes outside. He's like, "Hey, stop making all this noise. Like, Wendy's not here." And he's like, "Oh, I knew that. I mean, what?" And so he's like, "Yeah, dude, she's gone. You know, if only you listened to her, you might have known that." And so he's like, "What? You want to fight?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to fight." And then he's like, "Okay, maybe."
I don't need a 12-year-old telling me how to run my relationship.
Even though he'd probably do a better job than me because I'm an emo fuck. So he's like, "Yeah, meet me here."
Because I'm clearly voiced by a teenager while he's voiced by a 30-year-old man.
Exactly. So he tells him, "Okay, meet me in this park at this place and this time, and I'll see you then." And of course, it starts for guys like, "Darn it, I've never been in a fight before. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna say this? Blah 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 blah." And they're like, "Dude, like, you could either be a man and face him, or you could be a wimp and not, and go hide like a little baby girl." And guess what? He decides to hide like a little baby girl. And so what happens is he's sitting there, he's dicking around, playing the machine with
he's staying in the arcade.
with what's his name again? I always forget his name. Zeus, yeah. Playing it with Zeus, and all of a sudden, like, he goes out and he plays the beat 'em up arcade game, and all of a sudden he loses. He's like, "God darn it, what the heck?" And so he gets down, I think, on the ground or something, and then he sees on the side that there was like, "Oh, to use ultimate move, use this combination." And so he does the combination, and I think was it like Zeus gets locked in an arcade machine while he does that, and so he does the combination, and it turns out that makes the fighter come out of the game into real life. And so he's like, "Oh my gosh,
why didn't you pick the hot blonde one? There's always the hot blonde chick."
I know, always the hot blonde scantily clad chick. What the heck, man?
It's tactical, not scantily
clad.
Right.
It's tactical gear. I'm sorry. But yeah, freaking, he comes out the game and he's like, "Dude, like, I need you to help me, like, with kill this guy." He's like, "Did he kill your father?" He's like, No, he's just kind of a douche." "Oh, so he killed your father?" He's like, "Yeah, so I killed his father." And
yes, okay, he killed my dad.
And so he makes him go fight for him. So throughout the episode, I guess, like, he's going and, like, beating up stuff on the way to find Robbie. And so they actually get to Robbie, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I know you'd actually show." And so he's like, "Yeah, and do you want to fight?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I got this guy on my side." So his initial plan is just to scare him and let him go. But, of course, fighter, being the fighting that he is, that was a sentence I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget his name. What's his name again?
Which one? The fighter?
The fighter.
I don't remember.
Main character fighter of the video. Yeah, he's like...
Not Ryuken.
Not Ryuken. Yeah, not Ryu. He tells him to scare him, but it turns out he actually wants to kill him because he thinks he killed his father still. So they go around, and the B-plot of this episode that I almost forgot to mention is that Mabel finds out that Grunkle Stan is afraid of heights. So she takes him to a tall water tower, and he, like...
Waterfall.
Yeah, so try and get him over the fear of heights. And so Robbie runs. He tries to hide on the same water tower that they're hiding on. And so he tries to punch the water tower and make everything fall down. And he almost kills him. He's like, "Oh yeah, now I'll finish you." And then he's like, wait. Okay, he didn't kill my father. He's like, "What? I've been dishonored," or something like that. He's like, "He's not the bad guy. You're the bad guy." And so he gets into a fight with not Ryu, gets into a fight with Dipper. And of course he gets his ass handed to him because he's, a professional fighter. And he's like, "Yeah, I win Elthron," because he's saying like these stupid catchphrases. He's like, "Yeah, winners don't lose," or something like that.
Winners don't do drugs.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about that." And of course he gets sucked back into the video game. And so he talks to Rob. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead, beat me up. I've already been up already. Got beat up earlier, whatever." He's like, "Really? You're not going to run away?" "Sure." And so he can't punch him. He's like, "Yeah, it's stupid," or whatever. "It's not worth it." And so for earlier in the episode, they made a joke. It's like, where it's like, "Yeah, why do you guys have to openly hate themselves? Just hate them in secret like girls do," which is funny, but sadly kind of true.
Well, it is.
It is.
It is true until women snap at each other and start pulling hair and beating each other in the face.
It gets fucking ridiculous, man. But Yeah, but so what? He's like, let's make a pact. Let's hate each other and see. He's like, what? Like women do? He's like, yeah, just like that. And so it cuts back at the end. They're like, oh yeah, great, da da da. And Wendy's like, oh crap, I dropped something. I have to pick it up or something. And then as soon as they do that, like he's like, yeah, you're a dead man. I know you're a dead man. She's like, oh, got it. They're like, yeah, great, we're all friends. And then it ends. And of course, this episode was great. Made fun of all the old school fighting video game tropes and had a lot of fun. Like, it had stuff on screen, like it had a life bar for Dipper and not Ryu. And then it had, like, he beat up a car, and then it had a little arrow saying go.
Yeah, it's clear that the creators of the show really love the classic games. And
Yeah.
it's sort of that way of they're poking fun, but they love whatever they're poking fun at.
Uh-huh. I love when he climbs up a tree. He's like, oh no, I can't look up. I don't have a looking up animation.
Then literally just falls to the ground, but it's 2D.
It's great. Yeah, you can tell they love this shit, so.
And honestly, the animation on the sprite animation on not Ryuken is pretty awesome.
It's pretty damn cool. Like, I love it. It's a really nice touch. They did a good job actually making it look pixelated and video gamey.
I think my favorite joke is stand still. He just keeps doing his bouncing
Keeps doing the idle animation. Yeah. I am standing still. This is still
as still as I can stand.
Yeah, he's great. Ha ha ha, your joke made my shoulders go up and down. It's great. But yeah.
Or Dipper's joke where he has the dramatic widescreen, but it's literally 2 black planks.
He has the dramatic widescreen, then it cuts out and he's holding 2 planks up to his head. It's great. But yeah, all in all, this was a great episode. So, and I think that's it for this batch, huh?
Yeah, that's it for this batch. I feel bad that there's not much to talk about here plot-wise, again.
It's a solid, like, it's more of, like, there's some stuff that happens, but it's more loosely connected than actual, like, mystery plot shit. So, it's just good. It's, like, even the episodes that are filler episodes are good. So.
Yeah, I'm trying not to just say they're funny, because that's, like, a really sort of, like, sort of thing to say. But honestly, it's so, for me at least, it's so rare to have a good comedy nowadays.
Yeah, honestly, like, because, and I know it's hard to say, like I hesitate to say,
comedy's subjective.
Yeah, comedy's subjective. That's why I hesitate to say, comedy's really devolved nowadays. I'm not going to be pretentious like that, because, like, comedy's a very subjective thing. Like, I could find something hilarious that someone else finds, like, really stupid, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to put it that way, so.
For me, it's nice to have this sort of breath of fresh air, because it's my type of comedy. It goes dark at times. This show goes really dark at times.
It really does. It's like, I love good dark humor. It just, you wouldn't expect that from a kid show, and it's great.
From a Disney show.
From a Disney kid show, nonetheless.
We also did mention the one in the President episode, Irrational Treasure, where they're like, oh, it says here that in the past they were able to marry woodpeckers. And some guy who just married a woodpecker goes, it's still legal. Nothing can separate our love, or something like that.
I was just like, okay.
Did we just make a bestiality joke at a kid show?
I was like, wow, good fucking job.
Is that allowed?
Is that allowed? They've said a lot of things where I'm like, can they say that? Like, oh yeah, she has great aim or something like that. I was like, whoa.
Also, I'm pretty sure they tried to make a dick joke when Dipper enters the high score for after he defeats not Ryuken.
Yeah, there's a high score where you can enter the letters and it just goes D-I. You see in the background, it just says dip. It's like, oh, you were going to, you bastards.
I see you with your smug smile, shaking those eyebrows.
Yeah, I see what you're about to do. You can't hide it from us.
Also, the voice actor for Cyril, or also known as Jerry in Rick and Morty, was someone who said the backstory for the A&F president.
Yeah, he's like the background.
He was just there.
He's just there. It's like, oh, hi, Cyril. That's odd.
Ah, man. He has as much vocal range as Johnny Young Bosch. You know, Johnny Young Bosch, known for playing the role of Johnny Young Bosch. No, shit, I fucked up the joke.
You did. You say it again just so we can say it right on the air.
You know, Johnny Young Bosch. The man who has the vocal range of Johnny Young Bosch is known for playing the role of Johnny Young Bosch.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I love you. Don't worry, Johnny. I still love you for Trigun.
Still love you for Trigun, and I liked him in a couple other things too. So, like, he's
and being the side character that always betrays the main character in Kill la Kill at least 3 times.
Is that him? Nice.
Three times as one-off episodes. Like, it's not super plot relevant. I think it's actually 2, not 3.
Oh, really?
But you hear Johnny Young Bosch, and then he betrays the main character.
Like 3 different times.
As different characters as well.
Oh, what? Are you serious? Are you serious?
All voiced by Johnny Young Bosch in the dub.
No, that can't. What? Are you kidding me?
He shows up at least twice. It might be 3 times.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It is.
It's like, gee, I wonder if he's gonna betray her. Oh, look, what happened?
It's almost as weird as after I watched Future Diary, I watched a dub of Shiki, and the person who played, in Future Diary was a pink-haired stalker girl going after a guy named Yuki.
What are the fucking odds?
No,
actually?
a loner shut-in named Yuki.
Wow, just like, what the fuck?
And I literally watched that bit after I was paused on Future Diary.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know, right? It's like, what are the odds? You just randomly chose it. It's just like, what are the odds?
There was no other reason I chose Shiki.
No. Oh my gosh.
I still need to finish that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I need to finish a lot of shows.
Yeah, you do, buddy.
I haven't been watching stuff in my off time. I've mostly just been focusing on this show.
Which is great, so. Because we get to watch more shit, so.
Yeah, well, I'm technically watching less because I'm watching something I've already seen.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that was Gravity Falls, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think next time we have a bit more plot coming out.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're almost done with season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do a special episode of 10. No, probably not.
Probably not.
We could do 2 recording sessions in a row, though.
You're right, holy shit.
I would need a lot of drugs.
Yeah, don't worry. We got plenty of those.
So next time, we are actually going to do Iki and Friend for the End of the World.
Yep. So
and then we'll see after that.
See you then, guys. Thanks, bye.
Later.